Good morning, everyone. If you are alive and well enough to listen to my message, then it is truly a blessing. It is truly a blessing. But there is something that I come to say that is truly tugging at me. And I just want to say this. And I came to social media because this is where everybody's at right now. I don't usually do social media, but I'm here today because I have something I want to say. And it's kind of bothering me a little bit, but here we are. Um, this pandemic has really, um, let us all know, and if it, maybe not everybody, but it has let me know that God is soon to come back. He is on his way back for his church. He's on the way back. And when I say church, I'm truly not talking about just the church. I'm talking about his people, his holy just people, the people that he's taking to heaven. He's coming back for us. And I just feel sorry for the people that is not trying to get their life right with the Lord. Let me say this, you know, um, God is real. And it's time to stop playing with your soul. Our soul is really not a joke. Our soul is what's going to matter. Our flesh does not live forever. So, this body that we're living in, it does not really matter. Truly, it doesn't. Because it will perish. It's going to turn into dust, to dirt. It's going to. We're all are going to die. This world is not promised to us. But if we live the way we should live, then heaven and everlasting life is promised to us. So, what we have to do, you guys, to make it to heaven is to try to be more spirit led than we are worldly led, fleshly led. And in order to be led by the Spirit, it means you have to constantly be feeding your soul. You have to constantly be feeding your spirit. We have a spirit man. All of us have a spirit man. And in order to be spirit led, we have to be feeding that spirit. And the only way to do that is to constantly pray. You need to have a prayer life. And I'm not talking about one time a day for 5 minutes or before you go to bed at night for 2 or 3 minutes. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a prayer life daily throughout the day when you see trouble on the land, like the pandemic, when everything is going great in your life, when things are falling apart, you still pray, pray, pray. Pray without ceasing. Okay? Pray. That's the communication between us and God. It's prayer. Okay? Now, if we're constantly feeding our flesh, which is of the worldly things, which is Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, all of these social media things that we're doing, Don't Rush Challenge, and all of these things that we're taking part in. If we're constantly doing these things, watching Love and Hip Hop, watching all these TV shows and all of this stuff that's corrupting our minds and corrupting our soul, the spirit cannot live in you. The spirit will not know you. And we need the Holy Spirit to guide us, to protect us, and all of these other things. We need that. So if we're not feeding the spirit man will not live and dwell in us. And what you'll find yourself doing is doing things of the world. It's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, loving hip hop, and all of these things. Is it really worth your soul? You got to ask yourself, is my soul worth Facebook? Is my soul worth TikTok? Is my soul worth Twitter? Is it worth Snapchat? Instagram? Is it worth all of these things that has our attention throughout the day? Is it really worth that? I don't think so. Now, I don't know what's important to you, but nothing is more important than my soul, because I do know that this is a temporary life. And a lot of us forget. We so focus on this life that we forget that there is another life. And depending on how you were in this life will determine where you're going to go in the afterlife. Are you going to heaven or are you going to hell? We got to get our life right with Christ, everybody. It's time to stop playing games. We're out here committing adultery. We're out here having sex before we're married. We're out here cursing, drinking alcohol, doing drugs, smoking. We're just out here gambling and doing all types of things that is not pleasing to God. How can we make it to heaven, but yet we're serving the devil? We cannot serve two masters. It's either the devil or it's either God. Which one are you going to choose? And if you're constantly feeding your flesh, you're choosing the devil. Get rid of the distractions. Let social media go. Let some of these men go. Let some of these women go. Let friends go. Some people that you love, it's going to be even your family, honey. I'm going to tell you, family, friends, people that you love, or you're going to have to let go. They're not good for your spirit. And if they're living worldly and you're trying to live spiritually and live for God, they're going to tug at you. Sometimes you got to cut it off. And it doesn't mean nothing that you think you're better. It doesn't mean that you don't love them. It just means that you love God more. You love your soul more. And whatever you need to do to get you there, you have to do it. And a lot of us, we won't do it as long as we keep certain people around. We won't do it if we still in a relationship with a man who don't mean us no good. We won't do it if we got a woman that's pulling us down. We won't do it if we got friends that's constantly dragging us down with them. That's influences on us, and it's not a positive way. You'll never get to where you need to get if you keep hanging with the wrong people. If you keep the wrong man or woman in your life, it's time to let it go. God will provide for you. He will comfort you. He will be your friend, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, whatever you need him to be, your sister, your brother. He will be all that and more. But we have to surrender ourselves to him. We have to cry out to him and surrender to him. And do it sincere from the heart. Let's not just do it just because there's a pandemic going on. Let's not just do it because right now we don't know how rent is going to get paid. Let's not do it because right now I need God to do something for me. So I'm going to really give him my all for the time being. And then as soon as things start looking good again, you just go right back to the other way. We have to get it right. We have to try. We're not going to ever be perfect, but we have to try to get our soul right with the Lord. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. So if you got God in you, if you got God on your side, the devil can't do nothing to you. Because greater is he, which is God, that is in me, than he, the devil, that is in the world. When you got God on your side, you don't have much to worry about. Okay? Fast. Pray. Read the Bible. Seek God. He is the only way. And you can fool the world, but you cannot fool God. He is keeping up with everything that we're doing. Try to get your heart right. Try to stay out of drama. Try to stay off social media. We don't even realize that social media was one of the devil tactics to distract the world. And guess what? The devil's winning right now with a lot of people, because a lot of people are just stuck to social media. It's corrupting our minds. It is holding us back from the truth. It's such a fantasy world that we're all living in, and we're forgetting about reality, which is trying to get to heaven. Everything you do it for the book. You do it for the gram. But really, you need to be trying to do it for Jesus. Do it for your soul. And when you're not right, that means your children not right. If you have kids, if you're not really seeking the Lord, you're their example. Now you're gonna let them go to hell too because you don't want to open up your eyes. Pray and ask God to get understanding. In all thy ways, trust him. Lean not into thy own understanding, So, in all thy getting, get understanding. We got to get understanding. And the only way to get understanding is to seek him wholeheartedly, to cut out the distractions and focus on God. I promise you, God is real. God is so great. Like when you really give yourself to him and you really try and you really praying and you're really reading your word and you really feel connected to God, it's such a great feeling. But if you're constantly on the phone, constantly on social media, how do you have time for God? I'm sorry, but there's days where I don't want to talk on the phone. There's days that I don't want to do nothing but read and pray. And I have a lot of those days, and I don't care who get mad, who got something to say. My focus is God. God comes first before me, anybody. He comes first. And when you get to that place, you're in a good place. People, I just wanted to say, get your life right. Get your life right with God. Please cut out the people that you need to cut out. Cut them off. If they're not helping you get to heaven, if they're not feeding your spirit, if they're not trying to help you get your soul right, it's time to let them go. Cut yourself off. Separate yourself. Destroy all distractions so that your soul can win. And I just pray that during this time that there's some souls that's going to be saved, that there are some unbelievers that don't believe that will believe God is real and that he is coming back and that the time is near. And this is just the beginning. It's going to get worse. People are going to be dying for food. It's already happening, but it's going to get even worse. Groceries, tissue, paper towel, like it's going to be lives taken because of tissue. Lives taken because of a penny. It's going to happen. It's coming. And you don't want to be back here. You want God to take you when he come the first time. You don't want to be down here suffering during that 7 years of tribulation. It's going to get crazy. This is nothing compared to what is going to happen. Nobody wants to hear this, though. Everybody just want to hear the Don't Rush song and the Don't Rush challenge and all of these. Everybody want to hear stuff like that. Nobody really wants to hear what's really going to matter in the end. This world means nothing. Your family ain't going to mean nothing in the end. Every man for themselves. Get it together, y'all. Let's try to really try. Let's fast from social media. Let's fast from the distractions. Let's try to fast with the food. Let's pray. Let's read the word. Let's do what we have to do to get into heaven. Don't give up on yourself because God ain't gave up on you. He's not going to force us, though. He gave us the free will to do whatever we want to do. So he's not going to force you to come to him. You got to be willing to come to him. Willing to seek him, willing to surrender. I pray that I have said something today that touched somebody or made somebody at least think. I pray that I, myself, my family, and everybody that's watching can get this right. I pray that we all can make it to heaven. I pray that I have said something that you will take with you and you will try to apply it to your everyday life. I love you guys. Have a blessed day.